Hello, listeners. We are back on Healthcare Experience Matters. We have a repeat guest joining us today, and we are very excited to welcome her back. It's Hope Brown. She's the Patient Experience Director with Children's Hospital and Medical Center. This is a regional pediatric specialty healthcare center, and it's in Omaha, Nebraska. Hope, welcome back to the show. And just for those that may have missed our first episode together, just remind us who you are and what you do.
Hi, Casey. I'm glad to be back. So I am the Director of Patient Experience at our Children's Hospital here in Omaha. And my role is to really help ensure that the parents and kiddos that come into our organization understand how much our organization truly cares about them and wants to help them through their healthcare journey.
That's great. And last time we chatted a lot about the patient experience in the pediatric space. And, Hope mentioned she's a parent of four and what drives her passion for that role. So today we're going to focus more on kind of the leadership aspect. So first and foremost, I just want to get your thoughts on the importance of leading by example.
Yeah, so I'm glad, Casey, that you mentioned that I am a mom of four because my biggest leadership role is as a mom, right? And you think about how much you're leading by example in parenting. That's honestly the first thing that comes to mind is that, I can say 1,000 different things to my kids, but what they do is what they see me do and that how much that sticks in that role. So, and outside of parenting, when you think about being a leader in an organization or in a department or on a team, it kind of goes the same way, right? Like I can say a lot of things, but what they feel and what they see me do will really help to fuel them. And so I look at it from a standpoint of when I say leading by example, I feel like if I am leading in a kind of a way of servitude, like how can I help them? How can I help them be more successful? How can I help them with the tasks that they're trying to accomplish? Then they're going to turn around and not just say, how can I help you? But they're going to turn around to the people that they serve and say, how can I help each and every one of these people that we're trying to support?
Yeah, and you've had a lot of leadership positions in healthcare and in patient experience. And, I'm just curious, based on your experience, based on all your experience professionally and as a mom, what does effective leadership look like to you?
That's a good question. There's a lot of different ways that I think you can have an effective leader. And I think it's oftentimes, we try to find one type of leader and apply it, but it's the diversity in those leaders that's good. But some of the commonalities or values in an effective leader is someone who truly cares about their employees. You hire somebody that you think is going to be amazing at the job, and then you put everything you have into helping them be successful in that job. I think a good leader has a vision for the future and has a vision for what the role or the department or the organization is going to look like, and you're able to convey that mission to others. But I also think a good leader is one that challenges the people that they are serving, the people that report to them, because I think it's too easy. Again, there's so much similarity to parenting, right? It's so easy to just kind of let things slide as they are and not to get into that conflict. But if you can really challenge somebody and do it in a way that gets them to think about what they're doing and to grow, those are really the best kind of leaders. They may not love you in that moment as you're challenging them, but in the long run, they're going to see the value in what you were able to bring to them.
That's great stuff. So do you think everyone is capable of being a leader, or is it just come more natural for some folks? What are your thoughts on that?
I think everyone is capable of almost everything. And there's some physical pieces I would say I am not capable of. Like I'm not going to run a what do they call this, Ironman marathons or anything like that. But when it comes to being a leader, yeah, absolutely, everyone is capable of it. It's whether or not you have the desire for it, though, because, you may not have those natural characteristics when you first go into the job. I certainly did not. But if you're willing to be introspective and to learn and to grow and to push yourself and and just adapt and evolve to the environment that's there and the needs that are there, I think everyone can be a leader. It's just, again, whether you really have the desire to be that or not.
That's great. So I want to know some of the telltale characteristics of someone who really steps up to lead others in both patient care and providing excellent patient experiences. What should we be on the lookout for?
I don't know if I can speak necessarily to patient care. I would let somebody who probably has a clinical background speak to that. But I will tell you on patient experiences, somebody who can lead well in patient experience is someone who can coach. And I mean coach in the true sense of coaching, not in sometimes what I feel like we use coaching as just another way to, handle difficult and problematic employees. But if you can take an employee who's good, like they do good work. They're fine. Everything is good, but they're a run-of-the-mill average employee. They're not a top performer. And you can observe them and you can provide them with recognition, but also provide that goes to that challenging piece, like also provide them with guidance on what they can do better. I think those are the leaders that ultimately can be great in this. And some of that is leading by example, going back to your very first question. Like you do it, you show people how to do it, but then you also observe when people are doing it and you coach them to be great. That's really what separates strong leaders in this space from your average leader, because it's not about, shaking your finger when something goes wrong, because in most cases, things don't go wrong. It's just that when you take a situation where it was just, that was okay. You weren't disrespectful to that family, but how could you have just been a little bit more respectful to that family? Those are the leaders that really will push their department and their area ahead and will just give wow experiences to those families.
No, I totally agree with that. And I'm just curious what you would say to someone who might be in this field for a long time, decades, and maybe they just have a little bit of an ego where they don't think they need coaching. But of course, we know that, take the best athletes in the world, they have coaches, the best of the best kind of get to where they're at because of coaching. So what would you kind of tell someone or work with them on if they were a little hesitant to, saying that they needed a coach or something like that because they've been doing it for so long?
Yeah, that's a tough one because you're right. In fact, I've talked to a few physicians who, they're interested, they're a leader and they've got some other physician that may be struggling a little bit more. And I said, why don't you go and observe them and give them some coaching? And it's like, I don't know if that's something will be received very well. In this space in healthcare, there was an article that Atul Gawande wrote about coaching. He's a surgeon. He's written many articles, a book, Checklist Manifesto. But he wrote an article, it's been a decade or more ago, about the need for coaching in this professional space. And it did reference things like professional athletes. If you look at coaching, not from a punitive standpoint, but for how you continue to hone your trade, then coaching, we should all have coaches. We should have executive leader coaches. We should have, coaches for any position that we're in. And it'd be nice. That's why you have life coaches, right? At some point, it would be nice if I had a mom coach for me. So coaches are just, if they're done the right way, where it's really looking at, what you're currently doing and what you could do better, even taking your strengths and how do you capitalize on those strengths. I think we all would value that. It's unfortunate, though, that I think in a lot of places, coaching is given that kind of bad rap because it's more about let's focus on your negatives and let's focus on the things that you're doing wrong and try to fix those things that you're doing wrong.
Hope Brown giving us another great episode here on Healthcare Experience Matters. She's the Patient Experience Director with Children's Hospital and Medical Center. It's a nonprofit regional pediatric specialty healthcare center, and it's in Omaha, Nebraska. Hope, we'd love to have you back on once again. Thank you so much for another great episode.
Awesome. Thanks, Casey.